Hey, what's up? It's Adam Smith from the CommanderSmiths, and it is Proxy time. This week, working on the next installment for the Dual Lands. In fact, working on Badlands this week. A little interesting twist to this one. Not a big fan of this art, so I have one, potentially two, yes, two arts that we might be using for this full art proxy. Stick around and see how I turn this Badlands into a badass full art proxy. All right, what's happening, guys? Working on Badlands today. So just starting off, since I'm potentially working on two, that's right, two arts with this one. I kind of got things started like I did last week. I don't want another hour-long episode, so I'm going to I got things started ahead of time. So if you want to see how I cut out some of these cards, check out 2 episodes ago. That's getting back into the swing of things. When we get back to just one art, I'll start doing that again, just show from start to finish. So what I got started here. So here's the thing. Let me show you what I'm working with. So if you look at all the printings of this, you have one of the online ones, which are pretty decent looking. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot going on with these right here. The old school ones, yeah, they're old school and it's nostalgic and all that stuff, but they're kind of boring. I mean, there's just not much going on. And then the other problem you run into is the quality. See, it's not very high resolution there. Even for this one, it does not have a huge resolution. So I did some searching and I found one that I think I'm going to use that looked pretty sweet. And then I got the original one. So we're going to mess with that one. And this is the other one that I'll be messing with. So, all right, let's get started. Let's start with the first one, the original, like not original, the one of the alternate arts by Wizards. So I do want to use that one just to have the line up of everything. This is just not going to have the original art in it. Whatever. It's not a big deal. I think it still looks sweet. All right. So let's crop this bad boy up. Like I said before, if you want to see how I got this cropped, you can check out earlier videos, but that is this one. So one thing that's unique with this one is what I have been doing with the other dual lands is I like the look of the original with the multicolor in the text box. So that's what I'm going to work with here. That's the overlay I'll do after, once I get this all figured out. I'll drop it over the top of that. So all right, so that looks pretty nice. Let's zoom in a little bit. And we want to make it so we can see through, and I got to turn down the music a little bit. It's a little loud. Okay, so what are we going to do with this picture? I think we'll bring this through. So actually, I think I do need to bring this right now just because there's going to be some editing here. So I did the copy and paste thing. Definitely got to shrink that down because that is way too big. And she has never said that. So there's that. All right, bring that in to there. I need to see where this text box is. So it's not quite there. Let's use the arrows. Just want to see where we're going. Okay. So there's the edge on the left. An edge on the right. Now, I kind of still want that to be framed, so it's just really fitting inside that text box there. I think that's pretty decent. Oh, so you have it a little bit framed there. I don't know if I like that as much. So the second one, for this one, I probably will keep it this way instead of adding this because it's the original one, so we'll keep it. This is the one that just needs this little extra fun stuff. All right, so it's not getting to where I want it to be. I think I need to expand it just a tad. Yeah, I think that looks good. Let's zoom out a little bit, check it out. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want this one to take over the other text box. Now, the reason why you don't just, do this part and then just put this underneath. You can do that, but this lines it up so much more perfect. And this is really, really easy to do this part because all you're going to do is kind of what we do all the time whenever we're doing the stamp tool. So we're going to stamp here and then we jump back over here. And if you really want to see it disappear, we can do that. And let's pop this bigger. And you'll just see that under, oops, back on this one. You'll see this disappear. So now, see how it's going there? Perfect. Then it doesn't even look like there's anything under there. So that's how we get rid of that. We add that box in there. And we are golden. Okay. Now, let's go to the editing of the picture. We do need to stamp this. Boom, boom. And let's jump to our second layer. Well, we can see pretty good. So I think what I want to do is bring this tree root coming through there. Just trying to see where it ends. So I might just have the tree root and not the corner come through. So let's go. Oh, what's happening here? Because I got to get both. Because then see, watch, I got to get that layer too. Yep. Okay. That's fine. I know there's another way I can do this where I'm making this layer go above that layer, I believe is how I want it. But this, I'm just not going to mess with that right now. I'm just going to get each one really quick. So we'll do layer 1. There. There. Let's get back to layer 2. Make sure we're... All right, so like I said before, dual lands, you need to get them if you can. With the recent reserve list spikes, I don't know. Badlands, I don't believe has jumped as much as everything else. It hasn't gotten over 1,000 like Underground Sea and Tropical Island, but I would wait for a little bit until this recent spike goes down because I believe it will. I am pretty confident it will, but I am also confident that the prices will get back up to here and go over. I think eventually you're looking at duels easily being over 1,000, if not higher, years from now. So if you have it, if you can, try to pick them up. That 300 to 500 range is probably pretty good. So you got to get it because they're perfect. They're awesome for Commander, and the prices are only going to go up. I personally have every one of them. Oh, good for me.
Oh, but, good for you.
I also have extras as investments. I don't know if I mentioned that in any other videos, but I invested with my boys. I got 4 cards for them, not for them to play with. It's just for basically college fund. And I bought them at, it was Badlands, it was Savannah, Plateau, got them for like 120. And now all of them, if I wanted to right now, sell them and make quite a bit of money. So I'm just bringing this rock
good
stuff
for you
here. And that's pretty much all I'm doing. There's not a lot to this picture. That's why I wanted another one with this. But yeah, by the time they graduate high school, I think I'll be selling those for my prediction is they'll hit $5,000 in the next 10-15 years. So there's that. All right, I think what I want to do is just get rid of this symbol. There isn't a lot more I want to do with this one. I don't want to take this out of it. We're just gonna stamp this tool here, stamp. We're going to get rid of that like we've done before. Whoa, what in the hell happened there? That was weird. How did it get really big? I actually don't know how that happened. I kind of want to know how it happened though, because that was pretty slick to do it. I might have to mess with that after I'm done with this video here. All right, so last thing is we need that in there. I have no idea where that's going, but it's going somewhere. So what stinks is like some of those some of the original duel pictures I really, really love. Badlands is not one of them. Savannah's pretty boring. Is it Tundra? I think Tundra's pretty boring as well. Plateau's kind of cool, especially when you get that one where I believe it's the revised or the unlimited one, where it's on a plateau with a horse and everything, because they have two different. That's the only one that has different art for revised compared to unlimited and beta and everything. So that one I really like a lot. But there's a couple that's just pretty boring art, and so I'd like to just use different fantasy art. And this is the only one that, like, the alternate art that they have isn't that fantastic. I don't really like that. Okay, so let's take over that sun there. So we're gonna have to do that a little differently. We're gonna, because see how when I've talked about this in previous videos. Now when I'm zooming it out, it looks shitty as hell. See, because I shrunk it and then got it big. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it back to big, and watch when I get it back to that size from being big, it's going to look fine. So I think what I'm going to do is have this be the sun peeking around the corner. Yeah. Let's see, the quality of that is so much better right now. Let's try to get that right shape. I mean, it's huge. That's okay, because it's going to be cut off. So we're doing that. Doing that. There's going to be a little bit more stamp tool stuff here. Whoops. Stamp. Boom. Jump back. Get rid of it. And we definitely will bring that stick in the front of it as well. Be a little bit more precise here. We could try the erase tool, but this really, or the highlight and then erase, but I think this will be pretty easy. Just following that stick. You do it enough, it's just like coloring pretty much. And it's easy to just Control Z and back that up. All right, get that. Oop, see, just like that. Control Z. Went outside the lines. I think I did it again. What the fuck is going on? All right. Let's get down here first. All right, now let's try that again. I just had trouble getting around that corner and going down. That's what she said. It doesn't even make sense, but she said it. I promise. All right, and I think that works. Now, let's bring this way down because I do want it to there, so it blends in a lot better. Okay, that's the first one. Down one. I don't even know how much time we're at. We're at something, so let's try to jump onto the next one. This one's going to be fun. This one's very unique, very cool. We're going to keep that text box the same because it's just a different shot. It's a different card. So I've done that with the early duels that I did, where when I was using the different art, I just kept the box the same. Okay. So what I want to use is this pillar to take over this picture here. So that's what the plan is. All right. We are cropped. Let's start to see what we want to bring forward. Okay, what would be see, I noticed this picture is just like this little guy right there. I don't get it. Actually, what I do want to do is, it's just random that he's there. So I kind of want to just get rid of him. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a paint tool, kind of like I was doing with the whatchamacallit, when I was doing the stamps up here, getting rid of this. I'm going to try to get rid of that. There. Oh, I'm moving them over. So I got to, oops. Stamp, move, stamp. Just only go a little bit, because if you keep going further, it's going to hit where he was. So just a little bit of extra editing there. that's kind of what I had to do. If you go back a couple videos, maybe able to link it here as well. Because I did it beforehand. The Wheel of Fortune, I had to do so much of this to build the tree, and it was probably, I'm not even kidding, like an hour worth of work before I even started recording. I didn't do any. I did that all beforehand because I thought it was pointless to have a video and people watch that because that would have been just boring as hell. Okay, so what I think I want to do here is this and this up. We all know what Badlands does, so I am not opposed to all of this coming through. So let's do our stamp tool here. Same spot, jump back over here. So yeah, honestly, what I want to do is use this pillar here of the Badlands, and that's what I want to utilize the most. So we're going to do that first. I do want to use the other side too, but we might lose too much of the card where you don't even know what the card, especially since I'm not using an art that people know. So that's the other part, is like, you kind of want people to know what this is. We don't really, what's our top look like? I don't think I'm messing with the top at all. Badlands is fine up there, so that's just going to stay there. So whatever we do here is totally fine. It's kind of cool that it splits there. I could not. I got an idea. Okay, watch this. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so it goes in between this text box and behind. So I kind of did that, but I kind of fucked this up right here. Pardon my language. So I'm going to back it up a little bit. Kind of sucks because I got to do it there. But I think this is going to be sweet because then we're going to take this side and come through with that and leave this staying behind. So we'll bring this, brush this through and follow this line. And I think that'll give some pretty sweet dimension there. All right, so we really just want to stay within. Not going to go all the way down. Get rid of that. Pretty much the whole thing there. So yeah, the hard part about when you're using an alt art that is not anything like the other one, you want people to recognize what you're like. If people are going to play this proxy, like what I learned early on is I did it. I went outside the line there a little bit. I was going after alt art. That's a little tough to say. And I'd play stuff on the table, and my play group would be like, what is that card? Like, oh, it's that card. It just doesn't recognize it because I've never seen that. I'm like, I got to start trying to use the art. So I try to use the art as much as possible so that it's recognizable. Problem still is, our Discord, we tend to play on cockatrice. We have league games and stuff with the Battle Box League. And the reason why we don't do Spell Table as much is there's a couple reasons, actually. I like Spell Table. It's really great, especially during the pandemic and all this stuff. But the problem is, I can't play my decks on it because I use Proxies a lot because I have all my cards in the binder, and so I can use cards in multiple decks. And even when I'm using the same art, Spell Table doesn't recognize it. And so a lot of times people are just like, what card do you have there? Oh, I don't like how that came out there. I might stay following underneath that line there. Okay, let's see. No, we'll get that other ridge there. So I think Spell Table is great, and I know there's a lot of people that play it, and it's a great way to play with people across. And here's my other gripe with it is if people don't have a great setup, it sucks. You can't see what their cards are. I don't know. That's why we've been playing cockatrice. And this isn't a thing to like, hey, play cockatrice. I think my biggest gripe is that it doesn't recognize my proxies. And so that's kind of a big downfall for me. And I'd rather keep my playing with my cards in person with my proxies and stuff, because I have so many decks. If I was to use the actual cards, it would take forever, first of all, and second of all, it's easier to do it on cockatrice. And cockatrice, you can actually see other people, like how you're attacking. It's very easy to do it that way. Anyways, this is a proxy time video. This isn't a cockatrice video. So I think I really like how that came out. See, it brought this to the foreground. This looks funky, but I like it. You know, it doesn't make sense because it feels like these are both on the same level, but this kind of almost gives a dimension to those two. It's like, all right, this is actually just a little bit behind and in front. So I like that. Let's do, I don't know where the CommanderSmith logo can go. Just don't know where I want to put that. Could sneak it through there. I could put it there. I just haven't been doing that. I did that in the beginning where I just drop our logo there like most other proxy people do. But I like hiding it and put it in different places. So, get something in my eye. I want to clean this up a little bit while I'm thinking here. And I just screwed it up more than cleaned it up. Let's shrink this down a little. There doesn't seem to be a sweet spot for that. When in doubt, I can put it there in that spot, but I'd really like to find something to go. All right, let's clean that up there, clean that up there. Other side. There we go. Does that look fine there? Zoom out and look at it. I don't know if I like the top of that. It looks weird, this little black line there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this. Back to that. And that just makes it easy so I don't have to... There, that gives a little more three-dimensional look to it. Much better. Much better. Okay. Where does that symbol go? Maybe it's just part of the rock formation there. I could do it in the shadows or do it on this side. Let's just see. I think that's probably the easiest spot for this bad boy. Get it pretty small. I don't need it to be obnoxiously big. I think how bright it is. I'm going to dull it down a little bit. Probably put it right in the kind of cave. I think that probably looks good. Is that where I want it? I just looking at other spots and I'm pretty sure that's where I want it. Anything there? There. That's just weird. Could do it here. That just doesn't make sense. If it's part of the rock formation, it looks like maybe somebody put it there. Aliens? Maybe. Let me see here. I think it just needs to fit in that little pocket or this little pocket, maybe here, and we will hide it with a ridge there. Back to that. This. Okay. Yep. That looks good. It's not the craziest, coolest spot for it, but it's there. All right. So the last thing we need to do is get rid of that symbol. We alt it and just get rid of it, kind of like we did with that little guy down there. And that was easy. There's a little spot there. I think we're done. All right. Hey, that turned out nice. Let's make sure to bring this up to 70-ish. Yep. All right. There you go. Well, there's Badlands number 2 and Badlands number 1. Hey, number 2. Those turned out pretty nice, pretty easy ones. But that is the next installment for the dual lands. All right. Well, that should do it for this week for Proxy Time. If you like this video, like, subscribe. Otherwise, you can check out my other videos on our YouTube channel, Proxy Time, or check out our podcast. We do a weekly podcast. Typically comes out on Tuesdays. You can check that out as well. That should do it for this week's Proxy Time. I'll see you next week. See ya. Bye. Take up.